Right. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. That definitely is going to be edited out. So, yeah, first coach interview of the season, and this will be my best friend Sean, but you all know him as Coach iRoc. Say hi to all the gentlemen out there. Yeah. So I guess I probably could have pulled this up on the computer, but since this whole tech thing has really gotten on my nerves today, well, I guess technically yesterday, since it's after midnight, I can't see your coach history, so I kind of messed that up. but but I do know, well, since you brought it up not too long ago, that this is your sixth season. Is this your seventh, or was last season your sixth? All right, lucky number 7. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy has seen just ridiculous, stupid rage that I have from time to time playing video games, because he's got to see me play games before he joined the NDL, and in some instances he was unfortunately on the other end of a phone call while some games were being played, none of which I will mention. I'm pretty sure he laughed when he got off the phone. I don't blame him, because some of the games really, I mean, I'm a competitor, but yeah, I know it's a video game. Some losses have got to me, like a few Colorado losses, among others. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about you. So, yeah, the first thing I guess I'll ask is not too many. Well, I'm sure more people know about you now since you're more of a vet, but I know because I talk football with you, mainly pro football, but I got to ask, as now being a vet NDL member, and I know you're a UNC fan before even starting this stuff, has playing in the NDL, has that made you more of a college fan, or would you say it's about the same? And not just team-wise, well, I guess you could address team-wise, but in the general sense, since I know you're more of an NFL guy. Just true. Had interesting chats. I remember the whole UNC Tennessee game. That was a very entertaining bowl game. Oh man, that will get coaches fired. Or was it Tennessee? Or was it Oklahoma State? Now I can't remember.
No, it was Tennessee.
Oh yeah, because the whole Kentucky fan in me enjoyed it, wrongfully so. Yeah. So, I guess I know you're a Bears fan, and historically, you guys had Walter Payton, you had Gale Sayers, you have running backs, you ran the ball. I don't know a whole lot about UNC because I'm kind of a weird college football fan. I tend to live in my own little world with certain teams, and I haven't paid that much attention to the ACC, so I don't know about UNC's history. I do know, though, you like to run the ball a lot, whether it's up the middle option, flex bone. You've come to learn the way of Power O over the last couple of games. Why so run heavy? Is it like just your preference in how you play, a challenge? I'm just curious why.
Well, it's like our buddy Lovie Smith always loves to say, we get off the bus running. And running the ball is something most people think is you need a game plan for. But then people just think, oh, well, you just hike the ball and run it and find a hole, and there's not much to it as opposed to the intricacies of passing and having to take into consideration the accuracy and all of that. And in previous games, running was more of a challenge just because the games were so catered to the passing. But with this year's game, the O-line actually knows how to block. Run plays can be run like they're designed, and the ever popular bouncing it to the outside, which I'm not going to lie, I've been notorious for, but, you know, you better get over it. With this year's game, though, you can run a power O, and you can go outside, or you can go inside, and the defense and the offensive line dictate the routes, and you actually have to have a good eye for holes to be able to run the ball in this game. And in all honesty, it's just something that I found is more of a strength. I'm never good at reading coverages. I'm still not good at it. But for some reason, reading holes and D-lines and O-lines is just something I'm better at. So it puts me more in my comfort zone. So yes, I will run the ball with no fear, almost to a fault in some cases.
Yeah, we know about that a little too much. Yeah, so I guess getting back to tying that back to the NDL. I mean, I guess we'll leave the whole Penn State thing alone. But I know when we were talking during the off season, even before the season was over, you were looking at Georgia Tech after you were ready to run away from whatever stadium they play. I don't even remember what their nickname is, but yeah, Western Kentucky. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that out there. But Georgia Tech was your number one team on the board. I knew why, but I just thought maybe with the draft and other teams being available out there, not so much better teams, but just other situations, that you might go a different way. So ultimately, other than the obvious, what made you settle for Georgia Tech?
Well, as much as I liked Penn State, I had to remove them from my list because when it came down to it, they don't have a fullback. And that just reiterates the whole commitment to the run. I haven't had a fullback in my NDL career, and it's been awful. It hampers my game planning, and it hampers my play style. Now that I finally have a fullback, I'm overjoyed. And Georgia Tech is built how I play. If they're built. I didn't have to build a new playbook. It was built. Base playbook is Georgia Tech. I can run Georgia Tech's playbook, but at the same time, I can run any run-based playbook and not even have to worry about it. Georgia Tech's just, I don't throw the ball enough to have to worry about receivers. Yes, that is their weak point, unfortunately. Tevin Washington's not the most accurate quarterback, but I'm not one of those guys that bombs the ball down the field unless I absolutely have to anyway. So, Georgia Tech, being a coach at Georgia Tech, you have to know how to run the ball or you're not going to be successful there because they're not built to throw the ball. And honestly, with the way they're styled and the way they recruit, they're never going to be built to throw the ball. Yeah, Calvin Johnson came out of Georgia Tech, but they're not built to throw the ball overall.
Yeah, it seems like an anomaly. He's just a freak of nature. Ugh.
But yeah, out of the teams that were left, T-Wade really hosed me. Wisconsin was my number one pick. But since they were gone, I had to go to Georgia Tech versus Penn State. Plus, there's only one other team outside of Georgia Tech that could run my offense better, and that's West Virginia. And Talented's not giving those guys up anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask the question because I already know what the answer is, but just so other people know. You're a UNC fan. I'm pretty sure I already said that. And I know on this year's game, even though you're a UNC fan, you're going to pass up on them if they're available. Just because of scheme, right? Or I'm sorry, not scheme, but basically the way the team's built. Not built to play the way you want to play.
Yeah, Butch Davis has built that team to pass. Lately the drafts, they've been sending good receivers to the draft, and it just carries over. I mean, they got a converted quarterback as their starting running back because for whatever reason the EA gods assumed that Ryan Houston would not be back, so they didn't put him in the game, which was a huge deciding factor on ever even wanting to use UNC.
Okay.
But yeah, they're just not. They're built to pass, and I tried it once. It was not a good look. The record speaks for itself. I looked into a bowl game. I lost some heartbreakers, but that's because I couldn't control the clock. You can't control the clock, but a team that can't run the ball.
Very true. Well, so I'm guessing since you're down with a team that can run the ball, that dynasty word, I've heard you say it in conversation, I'm guessing that's a real possibility now.
It's looking like it. Georgia Tech is a team that it's honestly hard to get fired from. Because, for starters, you're not going to be launching the ball the next week. You have stiff competition. You're not expected to win much, yet alone the conference.
Yeah.
And
tough teams, tough coaches. ACC is rough
ACC,
waters.
A lot of people made fun of them last year. They weren't a strong conference. The turnaround was huge, but we got some good guys out there this year, so and it's going to be it's a whole different landscape. And honestly, trying to get back to a bowl game is the goal at this point. And trying to build the main points because there's only one team that I'm going to leave this team for, and God knows when they're going to become available. So that's pretty much the bottom line. I'd like to be here for a while.
Well, I guess that covers your goals for the season too. Just spell that out there.
Yeah.
So, just looking at in general, I'm sure most don't know you've been a Madden player. I'm pretty sure. Well, you had a Dreamcast, so I know you played 2K. Some pretty awesome days of skipping. Sorry if you hear this, Dad, but some awesome days of skipping in high school. Just going to your house and having tournaments. I remember we used to play 2K, and yeah, those were some entertaining times. But you played Madden on the GameCube because you're a Nintendo guy. Not knocking that. You played on PS3, obviously, and I won't even talk about our PS2 games. Bitterness. So much bitterness, and then you retired, so I have to hold that for the rest of our friendship. I should bring that up at your wedding. But you've only played NCAA for a couple of years, and I don't want to throw EA under the bus any more than I have for the last handful of years, but you missed out on the PS2 days, and I still, in my opinion, 2004, I won't say it was the best because my opinion is biased. Well, it's my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's going to be biased anyway, but I thought 2004 was the best because it seemed to have, you could pass the ball, you could run the ball, whatever your strength was. It makes me think of NFL, is it 2K5? Whatever your strength was, you could win playing like that. And if you matched up with someone that was able to counteract it, you had good games. EA seems to be all over the board. First it was wide open offense the last couple of games, and now it's you can't do shit because all you can do is throw interceptions now. So you've only seen 3 years of NCAA. What's your assessment on the series?
Well, watching you initially before I got into the farm and whatnot, I always thought of college ball as a whole, just, see trick plays and airing the ball out, and I think that's what EA was kind of going for in the PlayStation days, the PlayStation 3 days, I should say. And it does suck that I missed the glory days of the PS2, but honestly, part of the reason why it took so long to listen to you and join the farm anyway was the whole I like to play like the Bears and run the ball down your throat kind of thing, and I didn't think that was even possible, so I was skeptical of it.
You just saw everybody passing the ball.
Yeah, like, oh man, I don't want to do that. But, I mean, EA, I would like to say EA tries, but they only try after they fucked up with this. They're notorious for that. And like you said, you don't want to throw them under the bus, but In all honesty, if 2K could get an NCAA license, I think everybody in the NDL would jump ship in a heartbeat.
Well, I would like to agree, but I'm still disappointed. The last one that I bought was with Eric Crouch on the cover. Um, I don't want to comment on that too much because there's way too much background information that'd be required, and I think people will like me less if I go into that. So we'll just leave that alone. For the better. But yeah, that game was a piece of crap. I could not stand that game. I liked the Dreamcast college football. I thought that was pretty cool, but my God, the one on PS2, I didn't even like. I didn't even with Crouch on the cover and it being a Nebraska cover. I just said, "The hell with it. I can't have this game anymore." I threw it away. I didn't even give it away to some little kid. I didn't want a kid to have to suffer playing that game. It makes me feel horrible. But we're gonna hold on a second. Need to make a minor adjustment, and we will be right back. All right, and we are back with Coach iRoc. So, left off talking about the awfulness that was. I don't even want to remember, but yes, I agree because I think competition will be good. I mean, really, man, the landscape of sports gaming has changed so much. I mean, basketball, you just have NBA 2K, but I think it's fair to say for anyone that's played NBA 2K, especially the guys that played in Dave's League last season, the game is good. As a matter of fact, right now it's Friday morning. I'm still waiting for my paycheck to go in. I'm not refreshing anymore. I'll be picking that up. And my roommate laughs because he knows that I said I wasn't going to do it. But I will be getting that game at some point in this 24-hour period. It's that good. And most people know how I feel about baseball. I mean, there's EA and 2K hockey, but 2K's hockey is taking a major downhill turn. You have EA and then you have FIFA. Maybe if I know Jason's has said it a couple times. Maybe if they got EA, the guys that did hockey and the guys that did FIFA working on college football would get a better product. Or maybe if they listened to people that actually play the game and wanted to have, I mean, it still has to be fun, but it can be fun and realistic at the same time. I don't think it's hard to do both. So, yeah.
They've gotten lazy, and we all know it.
They have.
We're at the mercy of EA, more or less.
I tried to love all pro football. I thought it was cool to have Selman and Barry Sanders on the same team because no other Buccaneer, well, maybe Sapp and Brooks, but no Buccaneer will be as good as Selman was. Rest in peace, buddy. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And we're not even talking about Backbreaker. Oh man, so many rants last year about that game. $60. I was like buying Mario Kart Wii.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my Mario Kart. But the bad thing was I bought Mario Kart first and suckered you into getting it, and we both had to suffer. So I still owe you a game for that too. But it won't be Call of Duty. It'll be something else. It won't be Spider-Man either.
I saw the reviews. We're going to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw the game. That's all that needs to be said. So yeah, back on topic before that turned into a rant. So obviously I'm a coach rival because we play every season, and I think you've come to probably hate playing me with some of the things that happen in our game. It's the oddest games that could ever happen in NDL seem to always happen between us. If I could have recorded stuff back then, I could have put a video together of just random EA plays and people thought we were glitching when we were playing. So weird. But anyway, so I'm your coach. We're coach rivals. I'm pretty sure 6 feet is your coach rival, even though I'm not 100% sure he knows that you're his or he's yours. I think I said that backwards, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So other than that, who else do you consider a coach rival? Or would you, let me rephrase this question. Let me take this 2-part question. 1, people that you've played enough that you would consider a coach rival, and two, anybody else that you would like to play in the future as a coach rival?
Well, I know I've played Oracle a few times. He's a good guy. I'm sure I pissed him off a couple of times when he was at BC. I recall that. I was just left with a draw. We ended up playing each other. So I enjoy playing the guy. He's a good coach. 6 feet definitely, just because of the way our games always seem to end. Ever since going back to when I was at Arizona, taking him on with Colorado, that's just what started it. It was just ridiculous. So, people I like to play when possible are just the ACC dynasty guys like BT and Homie, because they're in the ACC. I'm a UNC fan. They're fans of their team, so it's just natural that I want to try and take them out. So it's kind of cool that I get to play both of them this year. I get to play a lot of coaches that I wanted to play this year, actually. So, I'm not the most social person on the board, so there's not anybody I really target per se. I know there's probably a few people that probably hate my Jets just because of my play style.
Well,
they know they don't.
yeah, go ahead.
Like when they know, because there's those guys that they have a crappy D line. You know what I'm gonna do, but you can't stop it. And they hate to play me, and I know I've been accused of boring somebody to death. I won't name no names, but that was a coach review once, so I try to stay clear of that guy whenever possible.
Well, it can be said the same. I don't want to start anything with this, of course. I don't want to be a PC guy either, because that's lame. Trenton and Dave, their arguments are getting to me on the message board. It's good humor, though. Or not, I wouldn't say good humor, but it's interesting to read. But, yeah. As me and you talk, I know you hate passing the ball. Like, I won't say hate. You don't like to pass the ball a lot. So playing someone like, the air daddy attack, that would probably not be, fun for you to play against, because you don't like to pass the ball. Therefore, you're probably not going to want to do it. But then, we've had guys back. You have John now, and it seems that he's going to be running the ball with Air Force. Is it his brother, Matt?
Yeah, his brother's Matt.
Yep, he's going to run the ball too. I know Bama passes the ball, but you have Richardson. South Carolina has Lattimore. Like, everyone. I pass the ball. Well, I can't do anything with Kentucky. But if I... Huh?
You do enough.
Sadly. But, I'd like to pass the ball more than I run. But, it's a diverse offense. Trendon, back when I played him on PS2, he ran the option, like, damn near every play. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it was something different than, 80 guys playing West Coast and then, like, the random guy here or there. So, it's cool. Everyone has their own interpretation of, what they like to do for offense. So seeing different versions is always nice.
Yeah, definitely. Guys like John and Matt, I respect those guys because they can run the ball. They're so creative with it, and I wish I could be as creative as those guys. Like, I have to throw the ball. I throw the ball. It's sad when I have to throw the ball to, balance my game. So I don't like to take anybody off. I know I like the ball. That's why I like to let people know I like to run the ball, so they can expect it and wonder, well, why is he running the ball?
Yeah, your 3rd and 15 play where you ran the ball. It was pretty funny. It's 3rd and 15. We're talking on the phone while we're playing, and he comes out in shotgun. And, I don't know why you came out in shotgun. I still know you're running the ball. And he just laughs. And it's like, well, what makes you think I'm running the ball? Hikes the ball, goes right to the running back, and we just both burst out laughing like, yep. He's going to run the ball. When he passes, it's definitely an adventure on both sides. But I think with time, I won't say you'll get to love the pass, but you'll love it enough to probably do it a little bit more. But I'm sure a better quarterback would help that some too. Very true. They're doing pretty good in real life. So now just looking in general, I mean, you've been here long enough. You've gotten to know some of the guys. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season? Not necessarily you in the ACC, because we talked about VT, and I felt really bad for him when I saw the Hail Mary highlight for many reasons. Cause I mean, me and BT played a scrim. We talk on instant message. He seems like a really cool guy, and it sucked that he came all the way down to the last play to lose. But in general, I mean, you've been here long enough. I don't know. I'm leaving the ACC alone because you're in it. Just looking at some of the other conferences, the title picture. What do you see as far as how the season's going to pan out? Sorry, it's like a really loaded question too.
Oh no, you're fine. The missus just walked in, and I don't want to interrupt the interview.
Oh. Hi, Jen. Sorry.
Go walk into the room. She's got her friends with her.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, outlook on the season. Yeah, going through the standings and whatnot. I like what Mauricio's doing over at Connecticut. The man's obviously a Connecticut homer, and I honestly think this is his game.
I'm glad they finally gave him a good team. It's been overdue for the last couple of seasons. Like, I mean, what else could UConn do to get better ratings? I don't want him jumping off a bridge or jumping out his condo. So, sorry to interrupt.
If my team finally jumped up to the top, matched my play style, I'd be ready to the game too. So there's no shame in that. And it's good to see him out there doing good. Partially because I know that means he has a better chance of being talented, which means he's better.
I knew that was coming. I knew it. No shame.
There is part of that. And it's good to see Block getting Michigan. That would have been nice for you to keep Michigan had I got in Wisconsin. But, it's good that he got him and he's having some success with him early on in the season.
Believe me, I'm glad he's having success too.
I know AU Tiger, he scares the shit out of me with Penn State. The way looking at what he did with East Carolina, the abilities and the speed on that team, that's a scary outlook right there.
Yeah, I saw that he lost to Boise, but I'm not gonna. Still, Penn State's gonna be a tough out when conference play starts. As you know, because you've looked into Penn State more than I have.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on Penn State and whatnot, but I'm glad he got him. He'll have fun with him. Wasik, looking at him with Boise State, I know why he's there, and I know what he's going for.
TCU?
But, yeah, I think he could be very dangerous. He's a great new coach. I enjoy playing him. Tough guy to beat.
Yep, good defense.
I know everybody wants to talk about Noel getting Oregon, but we're going to jump past that for a minute. I'm going to go down to steamroll with Stanford. Obviously, he had that Heisman run back there, won the Heisman last year. And I know he can run the ball when he wants to. He had a couple of good seasons here at Georgia Tech, took himself a conference championship and coach. So he was the guy I want to look out for in the Pac-12, honestly. All things considered.
Bulletin board for Noel.
And I'm just going to stay with the SEC because there's just too much bias down there. It's a crapshoot every year. It's going to be a crapshoot this year. I've heard good things from people that are playing Arkansas. He's a force. AJ might be looking to turn his NDL career around with LSU. I like to keep it warm for Shell. Dre's off to a 2-0 start. I would call you a dark horse, but
we know it's not going to happen. You don't even have to waste time with that.
Using Kentucky at the bottom, I know that, so I won't even knock that. And of course, Dobbs got his team, so once he gets his internet up and running, he can be a dangerous dude. So,
and I just because I have to say this because I play him, I have to add South Carolina because I don't want him to beat the crap out of me even more when we play. So yeah, South Carolina too, the defending SEC champ.
All right.
right, got a couple minutes here, so a few quick questions here. One, quick answer: no Big Mike, no Shell. Well, we're assuming no Shell because his internet still isn't fixed with Marshall either, for now.
Right.
Well, it was fixed, and then the patch, I guess, messed it up again. So he's back to plays, not games, in single digits. So, what are your thoughts on not having those two in the season?
Well, I mean, they're good coaches. They're quality coaches. They usually contend for national titles season after season, so they're going to be missed. But at the same time, not to seem like an opportunist and whatnot, but this is a good chance to have new blood in here. I mean, we had Weasel and Plasma in the championship last year, so it's just interesting. Not to mention they were with two teams no one would have probably guessed Stanford, Michigan State national championship last year.
Very true.
And it's just pleasant to see. I mean, no offense to those guys. I mean, obviously Mike moves around and he'll try and win a championship. I'm sure he was trying to do something different with Wisconsin, and he probably would have had a good season, honestly. But
Oh, definitely.
it's kind of nice. It was kind of nice to see LSU not in the top, not ranked, even though they were ranked at one point with a losing record. But I won't go there.
All right. What else? Toughest guy to play.
Toughest guy to play.
Toughest guy you've played. Let me reword that. Toughest guy that you've played. User skills, team, however you want to define that.
Well, John may not know it, but I played John in the farm, and I had a big hand in getting his ass into the league. So I'm gonna say it's hard as hell to play John just because he plays just like me, except he's got Big Mike's user skills, which is scary. In all honesty, 'cause, I mean, I've only played Mike once, and I played John a couple times in the farm, and then I haven't played him since he's got to the NDL, but I know what he's capable of, and I hyped the guy up as soon as he got in here. I was like,
Yeah.
You saw what he did with Rice of all teams.
Mike user skills just sounds bad because I've got to play Mike, and I like playing Mike. I like playing Mike, so I like it being challenging. I don't like playing Mike because I feel like he sits in your head every play and knows exactly what you're doing, and it's really, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I gotta go with John just because he's worse because he's in my head because he knows how we play similar, so he knows how to play the run to a T. And he's got those user skills, so then he'll shut your run down and make you pass, and it's over.
Yeah. All right. Got about a little over a minute here. Crap. I can't think of anything else. I had another question on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. And it's not coming to me. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know. Just all the coaches out there talking shit about the ACC. Y'all need to raise up because seriously, I mean, it was an off season, but we coming with it this year. That's all I'm saying.
Well, not to knock anything, but I know UConn has 2 wins against the ACC, so just throw that out there. Nah,
Okay.
dude, you guys will be fine this year. You have a good. Man, that's one thing I want to bring up, that upset game. We'll talk about that later. Don't have the time for it now. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call this quits. So, thank you, Sean, for the interview, and best of luck on your season and reaching a bowl game with the Yellow Jackets.
I'm trying. Appreciate it, Sam. Thanks for the interview.
All right. All right, and that is the first coach interview with Coach iRoc. Man, go ahead and get this set up, and after the break, we'll be coming back with Coach DK, so hold tight.